Once upon a time, in a peaceful little town surrounded by green hills and clear blue rivers, there lived a boy named Ryan. Ryan was 10 years old, cheerful, curious, and always full of questions about the world. He loved exploring nature, climbing trees, watching birds, and collecting small shiny stones from the riverbank. But there was something about Ryan that worried his parents and teachers. He often gave up too easily. Whenever things became difficult, Ryan would sigh, throw away his effort, and walk away. Whether it was solving a puzzle, practicing a poem, or learning to ride his bicycle, if he didn't get it right the first time, he convinced himself it was impossible. One sunny morning, while Ryan was wandering near the edge of the forest, he discovered a little tortoise stuck in the grass. Its shell was dull and cracked in a few places, and it was struggling to move. Ryan bent down and gently picked it up. The tortoise blinked slowly at him, and then, to Ryan's surprise, it spoke in a soft voice. "Thank you for helping me. I am old, but I still have places to go." Ryan gasped and almost dropped it. "You can talk?" he exclaimed, eyes wide. "Yes," the tortoise replied calmly, "but only to those who listen with kindness." Ryan smiled, amazed. He asked, "Do you live in this forest?" The tortoise nodded. "Yes, I live here, but I am on a long journey. I need to reach the great hill before the next full moon. It is very far and I walk very slowly, but I must not give up." Ryan tilted his head in confusion. "Why would you travel so far if you are so slow and weak? Wouldn't it be easier to stay here?" The tortoise chuckled. "Perhaps it would be easier, but not everything in life is about choosing the easy path. Sometimes the most important things require patience and determination. Every step I take brings me closer, even if I move slower than everyone else." These words puzzled Ryan, yet they stayed in his mind. He carried the tortoise to a safe patch near the river, and the tortoise thanked him again. Before crawling away, the tortoise turned back and said, "Remember, the journey belongs to those who keep moving, not to those who give up." Days passed, but Ryan couldn't stop thinking about that talking tortoise. One afternoon, when his teacher gave the class a math puzzle, Ryan struggled and felt the familiar urge to quit. Just then, he remembered the tortoise's words. The journey belongs to those who keep moving. He tried again, then again, until finally he solved the puzzle. His teacher smiled proudly, and for the first time, Ryan felt the happiness of not giving up. Soon, Ryan began noticing how often he wanted to quit, and each time he reminded himself of the tortoise. He practiced reading aloud even when he stumbled, tried drawing even when his lines looked messy, and even picked up his bicycle again. At first, he fell, scraped his knees, and wanted to throw the bicycle aside. But then he remembered the tortoise's slow, steady determination. He got back up, tried again, and one evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Ryan finally rode the bicycle all by himself. The joy was greater than he had ever imagined. Weeks later, Ryan decided to return to the forest and see if he could find the tortoise again. After walking for hours, he finally spotted the small creature inching its way along the path, still moving toward the distant great hill. "You're still on your journey?" Ryan asked in surprise. The tortoise lifted its head slowly. "Of course. I told you I must reach the great hill. Every day, I move a little further." Ryan walked beside the tortoise for a while. "But doesn't it get boring? Don't you get tired? What if you never reach it?" The tortoise smiled. "Yes, sometimes I get tired, but I rest and then continue. Sometimes I feel the journey is long, but I remind myself that even one small step is progress. Whether I reach the great hill or not, I know I tried with all my strength. That is what matters most." Ryan thought deeply about this. For the first time, he understood that success was not about doing things quickly or easily, but about not giving up. Inspired, he promised himself he would follow the tortoise's example. Time passed, and Ryan grew stronger in spirit. At school, whenever friends teased him for being slow at sports, he didn't give up. He kept practicing until one day he surprised everyone by running across the field faster than they expected. At home, when he helped his mother in the kitchen, He learned to chop vegetables carefully, even though it took him longer. Slowly, he became known as the boy who never gave up, no matter how hard the challenge seemed. 1 year later, curiosity pulled Ryan back to the forest once again. He wanted to know whether the tortoise had ever reached the great hill. He searched the forest paths, climbed rocks, and followed streams until finally, on a quiet evening, he found the tortoise resting at the top of a small rise. Beyond it, in the distance, stood the great hill glowing in the light of the setting sun. The tortoise looked weary, its shell scratched and worn, but its eyes shone with pride. "You made it this far," Ryan exclaimed happily. The tortoise nodded slowly. "Yes, step by step I have come closer, and soon I will climb the great hill." Ryan sat beside the tortoise and looked at the horizon. "You taught me something I will never forget. Because of you, I don't give up anymore. I try, and I keep trying, no matter how hard it gets." The tortoise looked at him with gentle eyes. "Then my journey has already been worth it. You see, young one, the world is not kind to those who surrender too quickly. But for those who keep moving forward, even slowly, life opens doors they never imagined." That night, as stars filled the sky, Ryan returned home with a heart full of determination. He realized the tortoise's greatest lesson, that patience, effort, and resilience matter more than speed or talent. And from that day forward, whenever life tested him, Ryan whispered to himself, "One small step at a time," and he kept going. Years later, when Ryan grew up, people admired him for his strong will. Whether in studies, work, or helping his community, he was known for his patience and persistence. Whenever children asked him the secret of his strength, he told them the story of an old tortoise who never gave up, and how its journey taught him the greatest lesson of all, that true success belongs to those who keep moving forward, step by step, without fear of failure. And so, Ryan's life became an example for many, just as the tortoise had been an example for him. The little town by the hills and rivers often echoed with his words, reminding everyone that even the smallest steps can lead to the biggest journeys. And the moral lived on quietly and strongly, just like the tortoise who never gave up.